โปรโมชั่นวันนี้สมัครสมาชิกเพียง500 บาทรับไปเลยเสื้อสโมสรชั้นนำส่งฟรีตรงถึงหน้าบ้านได้ที่ Line @KF24HR
There we go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
We'll have Ints on defense, and we'll have Black Dragons starting on attack. So there you go. Not going to be Border, not going to be Clubhouse, Coastline, and Consulate Auto because of last week, and looks like we'll be going to Oregon. Okay.
I'm actually okay with this.
Yeah, I think Oregon's going to be really good for this match.
Yeah.
A couple of different matches or scenarios, I think, where Oregon is the right map, and in a match where BD has nothing to play for, other than their own
pride,
yeah.
Bragging rights. I mean,
yeah,
you're the 5th seed playing against the 6th seed. There's not a lot of bragging rights here either.
And yeah, in that scenario, I think Oregon's the right map because it's a shallow map.
Yeah.
It's a sort of map where you have opportunities to make plays and set yourself up defensively, but it's so few and far between, and it makes for some really fast action.
Yeah, it's going to be a chaotic map. We'll take a look at the community vote to see what everyone back home is thinking. Again, you can go to the ESL Rainbow Six Twitter and vote yourself on the polls. It's Black Dragons taking it handedly, 68-21, with 11% of you assuming there'll be a draw. Like we said, a draw for INTZ is just as good as a win here.
Yep.
The actual result doesn't matter for INTZ. All you need is a point. So if you draw or if you win.
As long as it's not a loss,
yeah,
Ints are good to go. So according to the community vote, we have a 32% chance of Ints keeping their spot in this season. Of course, now we say that, or I say that, I guess, and that is assuming Red Devils beats Pain.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen there.
No.
That'll be the third match for the day, and this is just, will Ints deny Red Devils the chance at getting out of the 7th spot? That's all this match is. I like how the results of this match affect one of the teams in this match, but then also, much more importantly, another team somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's kind of what these last few playdays have been, is, well, whatever happens in this immediate match in front of us, it will affect another team's hopes, another team's entire destiny at the end of the season. And honestly, all those games do matter. You know, your week 1 games could affect another team's destiny due to tie breaks and head-to-head scenarios, but no one thinks of it in that bigger picture because there's 13 weeks left to be played.
Right.
There's so much unknown. There's so much that could happen. There's 13 more play days left for you to make your season whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, a lot of people look at it like the closer you get to the end, the more important the matches become, and in a way that's kind of true, but also not at all, because I mean, we've got, for example, again, Liquid and Black Dragons right now are the only 2 teams in Latin America who aren't playing for anything, but there are 2 teams at the end who aren't playing for anything. And in North America, and we've seen quite a few more. You know, as the gap has been a little bit wider. In Europe, we can expect to see something similar at the end of the week. Some teams, there's nothing for them. You know, they're not going to get relegated. Nope. They're not going to go to land. They're in the middle of the pack. You know, they had the mediocre season. They have nothing to really do there, so they treat it like a glorified scrim.
Yeah, and you don't want to reveal too much on yourself if you've got something else coming up, like a national tournament or any other event that you might want to play in, a DreamHack, a minor.
Right. So, and because of that, it's actually less that the closer to the end of the season you get, the matches become more important, and more actually that it's just some teams that gets more important for some teams.
Yeah.
It's more focusedly important. So, yeah, we've got a really close region here in Latin America, and
that's a good thing to say after quite a while of it being 3 to 4 teams of pure dominance and 3 to 4 teams of can we even hang.
We still have, I mean, well, one team this season could not hang.
Yeah.
That was Pain. They're gone. And I think the Latin America is one of the few places where you could say, yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't have expected anybody else to get auto-relegated about like 2/3 of the way through the season. With the way the Pain was playing, it was just like it's not that crazy surprising. I mean, we saw some pretty not great results and performances from Red Devils as well, but Red Devils also had breakaway wins.
Yeah.
You know, Red Devils would have just these crazy unexpected wins. They got 3 total in the season, and that's what keeps them right now out of that auto-relegation spot. Pain, over 13 weeks, got 1 win. And they could win here today, get number 2, but it would be for nothing but, you know, posterity, I guess. But because it's, hey man, they can't do anything to get out of where they are. They're in a hole and they're stuck there. This is what today will be Payne's last Pro League match.
And that's kind of what we mean by the earlier games
for this
matter.
Season and next season.
Yeah. That's what we mean by when we say, the earlier games matter just as much as the ending games. And honestly, some of the late season games don't actually matter, because if you have one win after 13 and you're already automatically auto-relegated, but then you get that win in week 14, who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. But if you'd gotten that win in week 2, maybe it makes a difference here, because if they have that one win, they have a possibility in week 14 of getting out of the auto-relegation spot.
That would give them 9 points.
Exactly.
And Red Devils with 10 points. That means that if Red Devils were to lose their match against Payne, then Payne would not be in the position they're in right now. So yeah, it just gets more focused on certain teams as you get to the end of the season, how important these matches are. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, if anyone's curious why we're bringing this up at such length, we're just waiting for the teams to get ready so we can get started for map number 1. Well, the only map, but game number 1. And as I say that,
hey, we're going.
As I start to stall a little bit more, we're looking to get underway. It's Oregon, ladies and gentlemen, between Black Dragons and INTZ.
All right, so neither of these teams really having any kind of good success this season. As we discussed in the pre-match, not one of these players of these 10 currently find themselves very high on the overall leaderboards, really. There's nothing breakaway about either team.
No.
But there is a lot to be said about how poorly INTZ has been playing this season. Black Dragons, kind of not terrible, but not great. INTZ, on the other hand, really haven't been showing up. And the moment is now. This is it. You do it here, or you leave your future in Pro League in other teams' hands. Now, of course, it's worth noting that if INTZ is fighting to stay out of a relegation spot, not out of relegation, so they would be able to fight for their spot if they got in there as well, as Red Devils will, assuming it goes that way. Whichever one, doesn't matter. Anyway, as the bands start coming out, we will have Capitao gone, Ying gone, Echo, and that's interesting. Are we going to be seeing a Mira, or will Mira be the final ban? Nope, there it is. Okay, cool. So almost a little hopeful there.
Yeah.
Didn't last long. Oh, Capitao, so that went through, right?
Yep.
It's done now? Okay, so Capitao on Oregon has to be the most influential of all 4 of those bans, in my mind.
You have both of the operators that were, or 2 of the operators, because there were a handful of them, that were changed in the most recent update last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Capitao and Ying, both with changes. It was a bit of a nerf to Ying, honestly, but...
I mean, it was a nerf, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a change, but it was also really, it was a nerf.
It's the speed at which you can throw those candelas that has changed. You used to be able to just dump them, and they wouldn't be as strong, but...
Is the brightness adjustment in the favor of holding it longer, or in the favor of throwing it sooner? Because it used to be with the time, right?
Yeah, if you held it longer, it would be brighter. That is still the case.
So
you need to...
So wait, does that mean... Oh, that makes it more of a change, doesn't it? Because then you can have your instantly exploding candelas that are also super bright if you just hold it.
No. You have to hold it for it to explode instantly now. So, and you have to hold it for it to be...
Brighter.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So now, if you just throw them, they will both be weak
and slow.
And
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Oh, yeah.
Then if you just charge it, it becomes a superpower.
I'm not smart, Michael.
No.
You remember this.
No, you are. You are. I was probably just explaining it poorly, but that's kind of crazy, because, now you can have your instantly exploding candelas that are really, really bright. That's all. All right, well, hey, it is what it is. The Capitao ban, though, to me is by far and away. I mean, even before his change, we saw Capitao being more of a prevalent, I think, after we got the ACOG, the new one on the LMG. A lot of people have been playing that recently, and the new bolts on this map, forget about it. Like, you just can't have that available.
No.
There's already so few places to hide on Oregon, and with those bolts, you can really whittle them down as an attacker.
That's the thing, and especially playing, we were talking about whether or not there would be a Mira banned, and honestly, if you're trying to play even just a standard mirror position anywhere on Oregon, honestly, I can't think of a standard mirror spot that would be safe from a Capitao arrow.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't even know if it's just limited to Oregon. I feel like it's pretty much everywhere. Mira is hard countered by Capitao now.
Yeah.
Because you put the bolt anywhere near the window, and it's just on the right side, and it's just, it's a kill. So somebody, speaking of damage being done, has been downed outside. That's going to be Hugzord. And Duds is seeing some return fire, but he's still up and contesting T3 of Tower. Ints are doing a great job of holding on to this position. Black Dragon's struggling a little bit to get a foothold. Lots of utility already having been expended, and that's not going to be good for BD, but they will be able to recover their player. Duds still holding this angle, could get the kill if he continues to. No one's going to peek him, so it's not going to happen. And Sophia having used both of her impacts from the lifeline, so Duds doesn't have to worry about that indirect damage any longer.
Yeah, you got PZD up top now using the last remaining stun in the lifeline. Being cussed Duds, the ADS not catching it, but Yuke will take down GDN and Diffuser now. It's your Soul Heartbreacher and your Thermite taken away. It appears to be from Garage on the peak. And he'll land the shot beautifully. Hugzord on 20 HP will now be peeking from the top attic windows, and on the rappel in, Duds will land the nice reactionary shot onto Panico. You've lost 2 members on your T3 clear, you've lost your Heartbreacher, and you've lost your soft destruction with your frag grenades. Now 3 collected in the attempt to clear out top of tower. PZD falls, Duds on a rampage, still on 10 HP, up in the top rafters. Now Hugzord's going to bail out with Moringa. Black Dragons off to a bit of a poor start here.
Yeah, it has to be one of the most unenthusiastic clears of T3 tower that I've seen in a while on Oregon. The only form of utility that was actually utilized to try and clear out that T3 was, well, Moringa's bullets, I suppose. Nice shot there to Moringa. He's trying to bring this round back in his team's favor. But yeah, as I was going to say, the lifelines from Zofia, and they didn't really help very much. Did a little bit of damage, but that's it. Now, Black Dragons are not out of this just yet. Hugzord being lit is going to make things a little bit more difficult, but so is Duds in return. So if Moringa gets a few more picks here and there, it's totally feasible that Black Dragons could bring this round back in their team's favor and win it outright. C4 from Boar is going to try to get one more, but it's not going to happen. And as it misses, that's going to be a lot of lethal utility wasted on the side of Ints. But they have an abundance, and with only 15 seconds left to stall, it probably won't matter. Gas canisters go out to counter the smokes, and Hugzord's going to shut down Duds. So more here for BD, but it's a double for Boar in the hallway, perfectly positioned to win the round, and Ints will take number 1.
Not a very complicated round for not a very complicated map. It's
right.
T3 clear. Very spread out, honestly. Very, very sparse clearing of T3. Usually there's much more pressure in combination with the utility being sent out. It was like they were using their utility to get in position to pressure.
Yeah.
And it wasn't timed well together.
I will say that the Zofia PZD had some pretty good... I mean, he did a lot of work. He got the Jaeger down. I was Duds playing on T3. Got him down to a little bit of HP, but ultimately that final shot that would have finished off Jaeger just never came. Meanwhile, all the picks that we saw, I mean, we saw Maestro get a pick earlier in the round. When that came out, it just started... BD started to lose momentum. They started to kind of fall out of I guess, the step that they were required to get a win on that round. Not being able to clear out tower forced BD to adjust the main lobby, and they had a substantial man disadvantage at that point, so it was pretty much over. There wasn't really much to say. Good job to Ints, I guess, for holding T3 of tower, holding it well. Usually, a T3 hold from defenders on Oregon is going to be a stall, pure and simple. You might get a pick or 2, but the odds of you holding it firm, as we just saw Ints do, very, very low. So, in a way, you could say that's pretty impressive, but I would say it more comes down to a really lackluster clear from BD.
Yeah, and it's not really a whole lot of individual blame to be laid. It's just, as a team, their clear was not conducive to any form of success.
Well said.
So, for Yuke here, he's got a pretty typical Valkyrie camera out on top of the windmill outside of Junk Tower spawn. He'll spot 1, rotate in behind, rocking a nicely fashioned spaghetti skin, or pizza skin, whichever.
I've never heard the pizza skin before. That's new for me.
No?
No. Everyone just calls it spaghetti skin from usually when I talk to them.
Depending on where you go, everyone's got a unique name for something in this game.
I like pizza skin.
Pizza skin. I love pizza. We had a very extensive conversation about pizza just about 15 minutes ago.
Because we were talking about how important the sauce on pizza is, and PZD's going to take down Duds, so T3 of tower finally cleared out. Great coordination, and another for PZD.
Hello.
How did he see Boar? Must have saw his foot underneath, but there you go. It's another one, and now Black Dragons look decisively in the lead.
Well, you know, I'm kind of sad because they interrupted our pizza conversation. But nonetheless, pressing right up against the windows now is intact to at least claim the life of GDN. So the hard breacher for Black Dragons, not long for this world in either round. Jackal Trax will come out onto Drunks now, as he's in the middle of the armory hallway. He'll dart back and forth against that attic rotate.
You can see the setup there for the counter using those impacts, but Smoke is far from a position where he can deny generator, and it's not a generator take. Also, the thermite's gone. Also, we're going to take a brief pause here, and we're back. Some more Rainbow Six action. Now, see a setup here from INTZ where they're just relying on having maximum control with their limited manpower. You see 2 roamers and only 1 anchor. But as we've discussed many times on this site, a single anchor is plenty capable of holding onto the site by himself, especially if that single anchor happens to be a Smoke with all 3 gas canisters.
Yeah, you can see time starting to tick away at the side of Black Dragons right now.
Why would you mark?
That is a very, very good question. Revealing the fact that there is a camera outside relaying all this intel to Intact will be one of his teammates, most likely fallen comrade of either Duds or Boar on the cam.
Yep.
You've got Moringa up top carrying Diffuser now instead of GDN. He's on top of the windows, and this is actually pretty crucial. The fact that Moringa, out of everyone else, is carrying the Diffuser, more susceptible to those toxic babes should they be launched the window. Intact will do just that, and it'll force Moringa to back off even further. You got PCD to join him on the repels as Hugzord is pressuring from the main window. Second lifeline sent out in tandem with a frag grenade, but it won't collect the kill onto Intact, just about 20 HP.
They think he's playing between the windows, but Intact is in fact plenty safe on one of the windows, and that's going to be his advantage. He'll lose a lot of HP and finally be finished off by Hugzord, who has made it into the site. This is the problem with only 1 anchor. Hugzord's going to collect another one just from inside of sight, and Yuke C4 will miss from below. Mark's coming out, so information is in his favor, but Panico will shut down Yuke, and that's the round for BD. Well, I'd say not enough anchors at the end there.
Just a very unfortunate peak from Intact as well.
Yeah.
The housing, the shroud of his reflex sight, blocking the visibility of PZD in his purview, and as he held shift to quick rappel down underneath him on the window. Poor timing there, honestly, and that's Rainbow Six Siege in a nutshell. But we equalize at a 1-1 scoreline. We're going back up top anyway on the defense for INTZ. First round, T3 hold, immaculate. Second round, disastrous. It's a game of 2 tails right now.
I would say it comes mostly down to PZD's excellent game sense and well-played angle holding. BD set up a lot of... Oh.
Alrighty.
BD set up a... Okay, so anyway, I guess good opportunity to deep dive on analysis. BD set up a lot of utility to try and counter the players inside, on T3 of tower. PZD was the one to set up to get the kill. It was usage of lifelines, EMPs, and grenades all at once on T3 to clear out the ADSs and force Jaeger into bad position. He got forced to a bad position. PZ got him on that bad position. Then, as you said, we saw in the previous round somebody inside of Garage get a kill on one of the people rappelling on tower, right? As you pointed out. And PZD was aware of that potential pressure that INTZ could have delivered from Garage, so he peeked Garage, got a kill. Just good game sense, good awareness of what your enemy's doing, and much better utility usage there in that round from BD. They really ironed it out in the span of 1 round.
And that's their story of the entire season in a nutshell as well, is they've been a very quick team to react to adversity. Yeah. They've never really, throughout all these games this season, they've looked very impressive. I think the roster move has helped as well, bringing in Moringa. For the majority of this season, though, the majority of their games, they've never really run into a wall that they just, or an obstacle they couldn't overcome. They've found things that their execution, maybe late round, was a little poor, but there was never one strategy set up that they could just never counter-strat.
Yeah.
Their opponents would come up with another one later on, and that would stump them, and it's the chess match back and forth, and I mean, that's Pro Siege in general. But they've always been quick to adapt and faced a lot of adversity along the way. It's been an impressive sight to see for Black Dragons for the majority of the season.
Yeah, and that's why they have the 68% right now in the community vote to win this one, and it's why they're the team most likely to win this one. It's because, well, BD are a pretty dynamic squad, and INTZ aren't. They aren't very good at adjusting their strategy. We've seen a couple of times where INTZ will shift from one strategy to another, but I'd say that that's kind of a generous way of saying it. They would they'll shift from a strategy, like their predetermined strategy, to something else. And it usually ends up costing them more than helping them. The problem is when you're dealing with a team like BD who is good at dealing with your one set strategy, if you're not making little adjustments here and there, or overall just changing your strategy to another strategy from round to round, then, well, okay, the point I'll make, I'll just say this. BD are very likely to continue effectively clearing out T3 of tower.
Yeah.
Efficiently as well. And if Ints don't adjust a little bit there, like maybe take their Jaeger out of tower and put him somewhere else on a different roam somewhere, or, you know, forfeit tower outright and try to roam elsewhere, if they don't run some other kind of counter strategy, then it's going to get bad. Or it maybe, you know, double down on tower, try to support it. But I don't know if it's going to happen, but I can expect Ints to just run the same strategy on that T3 of tower and hope that it works every single round.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. Because, again, they're the ones who are really fighting for something in this match.
Yeah, honestly, you want to guarantee it yourself. You don't want to leave your fate in someone else's hands. Because in the eventuality that Red Devils walks away with a win later on today against Pain.
Possible.
Very possible.
Yeah.
We've seen better performances from Red Devils than most recently. But
That's true.
It's Pain, after all, the team that is being auto-relegated, then that's confirmed.
Yeah.
You're in a 7 spot at that point if you're INTZ. If you're Ints and you don't get this win, your fate, your destiny is up in another team's hands, and you got to sit back and watch for the next couple hours after this game and think, oh, if we had done this one thing in this round, if we had changed this one thing in our strategy, we wouldn't be sitting here popcorn in hand, nail biting. We're ready to get back underway, though, it seems, on Oregon. We're going to head into round number 3. We're going to go back upstairs as we just did in the previous round, where Black Dragons were successful in the attack.
So, top floor once again. 3 C4s being brought, in all likelihood. And a Jaeger and a smoke. You've got the impact still available to deny the master wall. You could do so by opening up a little bit of the generator floor, and then there's a little ceiling fan underneath. It's a different type of ceiling fan than your usual one. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You know about the denial in generator, right?
Yeah.
So that one ceiling fan is like completely different than the one next to it. Look. And the one next to it, the one in main lobby that's actually spinning, it breaks, right?
Yeah.
The ceiling fan in classroom is metal.
Yeah.
It doesn't break. So it's just kind of weird. And most ceiling fans I've found are the ones that spin and break. So it's a lucky coincidence, I suppose. But basically what the point I was trying to get at is open up generator 4. There's a ceiling fan right underneath you. If you throw an impact on the ceiling fan blade, it will deny a thermite. Or Habana, it's a good impact trick from underneath. And yeah, that's really neat. I've seen that come out kind of recently, actually, within the last month or two, I think, for most people, and it's been made popular.
It's not surprising to see little tiny tricks on Oregon. It's never really the big overarching revolutionary meta change on Oregon.
Yeah.
The meta will never change on Oregon.
Well, I'm struggling to say that it has. It shifts. You know, like there's some pre-established things that you do on Oregon, and those pre-established things change around, which is most popular. But there isn't huge sweeping changes very often, if ever. I don't know. I'm struggling to really come up with any. Yuke's gonna go for a run out, and he will die to the Claymore that was on his camera. Black Dragons netting 1 kill, but they lost a lot of HP on Moringa.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we talk about with fraggers in Latin America with Valkyrie. They love the MPX, they love the ability to be on cams and take aggressive jumps like that, and yeah, they certainly do love garnering a lot of those kills with a pretty terrible weapon in terms of DPS.
Yeah, you know what, though? I mean, one great thing about cameras is that you can see things outside of your window, for example, Claymores.
Yeah.
You just take a look before you jump out. It's going to be a thermite on the generator wall. Nobody there to impact, as, it's crazy because Ints is setting up that impact trick, right? They keep opening the floor, but they keep putting intact in dorms. Every round, intact is in dorms. Do you even want to use it?
Yeah, what's the point in setting it up and going through all that effort? Oh, Boar's going to get caught on an attic rotate here by a well-placed flank drone.
Yeah.
Typically, you'd see that inside of T3, or T2, sorry. Not typically seen that in the back of attic because it just won't see as much.
It's going to work, though.
Yeah, it's still, hey, it works out. And it's going to push Boar all the way back. He knows he does not want to flirt with disaster there. Flashbangs come soaring out into some pre-placed ADSs that are perfectly visible for when you peek around the corner. But nonetheless, here come the smokes, here comes the execute. It's all about to combust.
So, it's going to be a stall here, it looks like, from Black Dragons. They know they have time. They know they have the man advantage, and they're trying not to throw this away. There's a lot of roamers, though, in play here for INTZ, and Boar actually is going to be delaying quite a lot from the basement. Drunks is going to get lit up as he pushes to the top of white stairs. Gas canisters coming out, but they are not well positioned, and the plant is going to go down. C4 gets Panico, but that's one of the roam hunters, so it's not going to matter in the long run, as the plant now is finally planted. That makes no sense. 2 players on the attack, very lit up, but there is still a post-plant situation. Is anybody actually watching the diffuser? Oh no. Is this gonna happen? Yeah. Intactus just gonna stick the diffuser and he's gonna win the round!
Yikes. So, I was really impressed with, I know it's just a flank drone, but I like the positioning of the flank drone, right?
That flank drone was really cool. And you know, the thing what that did is it actually forced the roamer of Boar to relocate all the way to the basement, right? And what you would expect is for that to be contained.
Yeah.
The curious thing is that Boar got a C4 kill on his container, which was the buck, the person who's supposed to be hunting him down. Now, I don't know. The roamers weren't amazingly well handled by BD, but the flank drone was really cool. The flank drone was really, really cool.
My second point of that thought is, so where's the coverage of the diffuser at that point? If you've got your mid-game...
Oh, I thought we were just like going to step around that. I thought we were just going to
Oh, no, I'm diving right into this.
I thought we were going to dodge the conversation, pretend it didn't happen.
Oh, hell no. We're jumping into this. Where's your coverage, man? No drone on. No person close. It was the Jackal that was closest on master balcony. Runs headstrong into an SMG-11. At that point...
Yeah, Drunks with the good cover there.
At that point, if your GDN is the thermite, why are you stalling and like crouch walking through the door from master hallway to gen hall?
He expected a fake. He didn't expect anyone. Yeah. Pros don't fake, man. Pros don't fake.
Just at that point,
it's a universal rule.
You gotta be like, someone's gotta hear that too at some point. It's loud enough you can hear it from the balcony.
Oh yeah, it makes it really loud.
That's got to be a communication error there on the side of Black Dragons.
A lot of people said when they went from the thudding to the buzz, buzz, it got actually quieter, but I honestly think that the buzzing is super easy to point out. And yeah, no, there's I mean, that's on, yeah, it's definitely on BD. Drunks had a great cover there. He got the immediate, you know, defusal denial, but man, there were 4 people alive on the attack. 4. One of them died in an effort to try and deny the defuse, or disable rather. But hey, it's whatever. It's done now.
It's fair. We're jumping into round number 4 now, so we're seeing Black Dragons now have to respond, and they'll be attacking back downstairs, as they were successful the first time around their attack upstairs, granted. But this is now INTZ taking another one back in a very back and forth contest. They're going to head back downstairs, where of course they were successful in a near perfect round. It started to deteriorate near the end, but that T3 hold was quite immaculate, and Ute will find his grave nice and early. A minute into the round, PZD will start things off with a bang, and there goes your all-star fragger inside the first minute in back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, PZD has been having a really good match so far. He really is opening up this match for his team. I would say right now, if it weren't for PZD, I feel like we might be in a 3-0.
Yeah.
Because he was the hero of that second round that Black Dragons managed to win. Black tier, bye-bye. I don't know why I read that out. I think it's, I haven't like, I'm just feeling so kind of like rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long has it been since I casted?
It was you and me on the...
Week like 12? Week 13, yeah.
Week 12. Like early week 12.
Early week 12, yeah.
Yeah.
Drunk's gonna be side of tower. He's just looking at the long angles that were pre-established by INTZ. And it's well, I mean, we've seen 2 minutes expended so far by Black Dragons. They're setting up for a main lobby take, which is sensible. They have the man advantage. There is denial on the side of INTZ, quite a lot of it actually. So it's going to be something that, well, Black Dragons need to whittle away.
That's the scary thing, just the amount of denial that INTZ have. And the plant going down right now, though, from Black Dragons on behalf of GDN. Moringa takes down Intact, there's smoke cover. Nobody on the call, nobody on the Evil Eye, no Nitro Cell sent out. Oh, we're getting another plant for free. Will be another disable for free, though. PZD is going to take some damage, but he'll collect the kill ultimately onto Drunks. Duds will fall in tandem. It's now Boar left alive in a 1v5. As he's toiling inside a supply room, PZD will go in for the flank from behind. RG15 in hand now as he pushes into supply room, flanking around in box. It's pistol on pistol, but no. The 5-7 will not be enough to claim 2 lives. Panico will wrap that one up with a bow. We literally said 5 seconds before that plant went down that they had a lot of denial.
And hey, they didn't prove us wrong by messing up. No. They did have a lot of denial. They just
didn't use it.
Didn't use it.
Oh boy. It's a weird game, man. It's a weird game.
INTZ, you're fighting for your lives. Not actually. They're fighting for their
Pro League Season 10.
Yeah, next season.
Guarantee, because they could still, even if they end up in the 7th spot.
I just don't see. I don't see Pain beating Red Devils. I feel like we have 2 matches today in my mind where it's pretty one-sided in terms of expectations.
Yeah.
And yeah, Pain Red Devils is one of those, I would imagine. But who knows? Who really knows? I don't. I only speculate. So let's go under the assumption that Pain loses Red Devils. Red Devils gets 3 points.
Yeah.
That's gonna put them in a really, really good spot. In fact, 1 point higher than what INTZ has right now. So INTZ needs to draw or win. I mean, in my mind.
Yeah.
And then they're safe. But they're not playing like it.
No, it's very. It seems like they're playing very selfishly, and I don't really mean that in a, I guess. It is negative, don't get me wrong, but I don't mean it in like an offensive way. It's more that they're just not communicating with one another.
It is a blatant critique of what we are seeing from INTZ right now.
Yeah,
and it's rightfully so. I
don't want to go too hard on them, but like
it seems like the way that they're playing is, here's where you sit, you do your thing here.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, there's not a whole lot of communication or coordination on the actual utility. Like, for example, we had Maestro in tower, right? And I was actually about to bring it up in that last round. Maestro in tower. He can hold the long angles, deny meeting hall, and simultaneously use his Evil Eyes to deny the plant. But what didn't happen? I mean, maybe the Evil Eyes got broken. It's beside the point. We had so much else, so much other utility. Intact, on the smoke, got picked off early. He shouldn't have been picked off. But even then, there was Boar with C4. So, I don't know. It's next round now. Duds is again in T3. We'll see if it works for him this time.
It's his favorite position. He's now looking down through some kill holes. You got an upside down repel from a member that looks like there's Hugs, or the Jackal Ping will come out, and this is Duds playing the waiting game now. Doesn't spot the head there of PZD peeking over the brim of that rooftop. Now backing off further away from the frag grenade. He still has an ADS intact as well upstairs. The rotate coming in from intact as well through the attic. So you've got a lot of coordination here in a 3-man stack for tower, 1 on each tier. And no ingress yet, though, from Black Dragons.
So Black Dragons have forgotten how to clear out T3 when they learned it in the 2nd round. We are now in the 5th round. So I understand that it sometimes can be difficult to deal with. Also, Duds is playing a lot safer than he did that 2nd round. And his safe play has netted half of the round. That's very impressive denial. Panico's going to go on in and win the fight. There you go. Duds disoriented by the lifeline. Love the coordination there from BD. It just took him 2 minutes to get to that point, which is the worrisome thing.
Yeah, same thing again. What's the lifeline utility used for except for that final stun when they go in for the repel? Punch hole here on the wall, and I think he's well aware of Yuke's position. I guess it's classroom?
I don't know where this is.
I think it's classroom.
Oh, wow, the timing on that.
Is it kids?
Oh, wow.
I don't even know where it is, but it's kids, and Yuke will fall regardless.
The timing on that, though, that was incredible. Yuke made it past just at the right moment. Though, speaking of time, lots of it being wasted here by INTZ. They did lose 2 players, but hey, TikTok, right? So it's still very winnable here for INTZ, as they only need to hold out for 30 more seconds. And Black Dragons aren't very well established to take the site yet. I don't think they've even opened up the drop. Panico's going to take down Intact, though, so this is getting much more difficult for INTZ. Boar will refrag, which is fantastic, but he doesn't see the enemy in the hallway and will lose that fight. Leaving just Drunks now, who lit up by Hugzord as well, is in a 1 versus 4 situation. No C4 in hand, so no denial for past and default spot. Moringa's going to get the final frag. A little bit of frag chasing there, but who cares, as it was such a one-sided affair. Black Dragons will take another round. That puts them up 3-2, and we only have 1 more round in INTZ's defense. they're probably going to go top 4, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. For INTZ there, the T3 hill did actually a pretty darn good job of killing a lot of time.
No joke, yeah.
It was like a minute 15 left in the round when Duds died in T3. Interesting position for the Legion upstairs in Kids when you already had 3 members in Big Tower. It means you're leaving just your smoke of intact, or not even your smoke of intact, sorry, he was an Attic and then T2. You're leaving 1 member on site at that point, and that's a precarious position. We've seen plenty of very quick takes downstairs on Oregon when there's 1 or no members of the defense downstairs on the objective. And for INTZ there, the peel back just not efficient enough. You know, you get caught out in T3 after killing so much time. Your objective at that point, peel back to the objective and wait it out with your denial. They didn't make it back quite so swiftly.
So, in the last 3 rounds, INTZ have gotten 4 kills. Now, that is important to, it's important to note that that's not all rounds, so we have had 5 rounds, right? But it was 1-1, it was a rehost, I believe?
Yes.
So all of the, I mean, we disconnected, so, and I think we came back. Yeah, it had to have been a
new lobby.
It had to have been a new lobby, yeah. So, given that, yeah, 3 rounds, 4 kills for INTZ. Not really having a good match right now. It's been slow. Good delay action from Duds in T3 last round, like you said.
Yeah.
But then no follow-up from INTZ, none at all. And they kept getting picked too. So many free kills for Black Dragons.
So this is the 2nd Oregon game in a row that this junkyard default camera has been left alive. And I'm actually getting concerned at this point. Do people forget that this default exists? Like, Moringa spawned there. Moringa flat out spawned there. And there's just Yuke's a Valkyrie. He could throw a cam out there if he really wanted to. He doesn't need to at this point. He could be anyone.
So the justification for BD is that, again, they're not playing for anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one, like, I can give that excuse to Black Dragons, is there's no reason for them to actually do it.
Yeah.
Winning, losing doesn't matter here for them. Nothing at all. Period. Right? So, I guess you know, they're allowed to make really, really bad mistakes, and us to just be like, yeah, it's probably because they're not practicing right now. They're not going to land, so they don't need to practice for that. And Intact's going to set up the impact trick. There it is. Cool little highlight there. He's just aiming for the ceiling fan underneath. I don't think does GDN not know about this? He's going to try again.
A really big fucking hole.
Well,
why did Intact leave?
I think Intact was feeling pressure from the window.
No, he wasn't.
No?
He wasn't. There was no reason for him to leave. Why didn't he just impact the second one? What did I just witness?
My overarching question is why it's Intact on smoke inside a generator who could get pinched off from like highway window
not, like,
instead of for the Legion.
Yeah.
Especially you've got 4 impacts. There's a lot of utility for rotations with the shotgun as well. Very curious decision making here on the side of both teams, honestly.
I don't. Gas canisters are coming out here from Intact. Now he's trying to deny. In the last 40 seconds. I mean, Black Dragons aren't really doing anything to prod the site right now, and it's worrisome because there's a lot of utility. They've got flank watches set up. I think even maybe 2 flank watches set up underneath, which means only 3 people for the take. Intact's gonna get 1 with the gas canister, but GDN's just planning past the gas canister. C4 comes out from Yuke, and here we go. INTZ are still in this match. Players downstairs getting eliminated, as will the push upstairs, leaving just Panico, the other flank watcher, to get 2 kills, going for more. He's gonna have to get an ace to win this, but it won't happen. INTZ finally figure out how to deny the plant, and after a very slow start from Black Dragons, they will fizzle out in the end of that round.
Impressive work there for INTZ in terms of making an adjustment.
I will say that's the first round, I think, that we actually had 2 teams playing.
That's fair. That's fair.
But kind of not, though, because BD only started pushing with 30 seconds. They had control for like a solid minute.
And honestly, it's impressive. I didn't even catch this while the round, while we were doing like our initial setup of the round there. I only caught it in the final kill cam. There's a bulletproof camera placed top white, pretty standard bulletproof.
Right.
And GDN was planting in the smoke. So there had to have been a call come out because we didn't see any pings.
And it was the C4 from below based on the camera?
There had to have been a call.
Yeah.
They're talking again.
Oh yeah,
They're communicating again.
All right.
It's great.
That's a good point. It's a good point, really.
Like, it looked like none of them were talking to each other. It looked like they had Discord or TeamSpeak just uninstalled from their computers.
Every team uses, a lot of different regions use different stuff, but I think most teams when playing Pro League use TeamSpeak still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was a confusing, I mean, I keep trying to make sense of everything that's happening, and I feel like that's my problem.
It's tough.
It's not, like there's always a justification for something. Like we could say that last round because the junk tower or the junk default camera wasn't destroyed. We could say, oh yeah, well VD doesn't really care, right?
Yeah,
that's true. I guess, but that is so much of a stretch in terms of justification. Anyway, I still don't know why Inst didn't deny the Thermite outright. I still don't know why BD waited 30 seconds before they executed. I also don't think that BD knows about that impact denial. I don't think they know, because the Thermite was profoundly confused. And then what happened? He waited for his teammate to go below. Once he had a teammate below, he went for a second exothermic charge, which means that he must have thought it was somebody denying from Classroom, which means he called that out to his team. And by the way, that's why Black Dragons had 2 people holding flank down in main lobby. One from Garage, one from Classroom.
Yeah.
Instead of putting that extra body on the push, because they were worried about C4 impact from below, because they had the impact, I guess they must have assumed was from below to get the first exothermic. I don't know, it just... There's so much to deep dive on there, but I'm just going to move on now. We have a halfway swap, and it will be BD starting on the base ones.
We have a not similar exact setup. BZD is actually going to bail at a T3. Yes, got Panko covering inside of Attic. But for Black Dragons here, somewhat similar setup to what INTZ were running. You have a Thermite charge coming out onto the pantry wall from Kitchen. I'll blow that wide open and hold off any rotations coming out of meeting towards the main lobby. We stand at a deadlock 5-5 right now in the middle of the round. You got Duds holding from inside a Kitchen. He'll peel off here. For INTZ, the second exothermic charge will most likely come out on the Classroom wall and open up the hatch simultaneously. Drones come flying into meeting and they'll grab positions, but this isn't Duds' purpose to push in. All he really needs to do is hold the flank here.
He's going to use his Attic drone to try and catch the Jaeger, but I don't think he actually saw that Jaeger. He's going to go right back on, and he's going to do this for a solid 30 seconds more, leaving his team, well, it's probably about 20 seconds to hit the site, though he's just a flank watch, so I guess he doesn't have anything else to do. Still, it's going to be some missed utility from the Zofia in terms of the site take. Going to be an exchange here early on, so we finally see some action with only 40 seconds left. It's using his EMPs to try and deny the Evil Eyes, as well as any other potential utility that BD has set up. But the gas canisters are coming out. Uke will land a shot on Hugzord, but doesn't deny the smoke of GDN playing inside of Closet. Amazingly doesn't win that fight, and because of that, the plant will go down. GDN, though, gets a second one from inside a Closet using his shotgun. It's a bit of a confusing round. Intact is behind the smoke, and there's somebody disabling. The diffuser is being disabled. BD is going to get the last 2. There was no continuity at all in that round, and it made it really hard to follow what was going on.
Oh, my brain hurts.
I don't...
It's so weird because it's so atypical to the pattern that we've been seeing in all of Pro League lately. So, lately there haven't been as many plants going down.
This is a plant-heavy match.
This is a very plant-heavy, especially out of Oregon. Oregon is a plant-centric, like the attempt to plant, but most often it still comes down to getting the kills at the end. It doesn't... There's a couple plants going down in Oregon, and a little bit more than the rest of the maps in Pro League right now. But it seems like the sole focus for both of these teams on the attacking side is sneakily get a plant down while your opponent completely botches a plant delay, and then completely walk away from the diffuser with no coverage.
Every round, the defenders have a butt-ton of denial, right?
Yep.
They could deny the plant easily, and they never, ever do. Well, that's not true. We had one C4 in the last half. One C4 that denied the plant.
Round 6.
Yep. That was round 7. We're now on round 8. And that's it. The rest of the denial, like Evil Eyes and gas canisters, has been ineffective so far. Or just not used.
That's the thing. It's not even that they've been they just haven't been used.
Yeah.
There was one toxic bait thrown out there from...
One. And there were only like 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
GDN did get 2 kills, to be fair to him.
He did. He made up for it. Also, how... I forget who the glass was. Was it Boar? No.
No. Intact, I think.
Intact as the glass?
All
I'm saying is he was in his own smoke, and GDN as the smoke peeked out of closet.
He didn't check closet.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is, when he was coming, when the glass was coming, whoever it was, when the glass was coming in from laundry into storage, he didn't peek closet.
The most common place for a defender to be downstairs on Oregon. You don't check that. While having the cover of, I'm literally in a smoke grenade and I can see through it and you can't.
Well, I mean, the glass was poking out around the side a little bit, but it doesn't matter. It's not about whether he was covered by the smoke in my mind. It's that he didn't pre-aim closet. That's it. Moringa's going to get a kill from Attic. I don't know how. Drunks will give it away. Nomad being brought out here. We haven't been seeing a lot of that, but yeah, he's gone. So.
I mean, that would stop your one-man push onto the diffuser that seems to be working so well, would be an air jab, but now you've lost that availability.
Put an air jab on the diffuser and you're not diffusing.
Yup. So,
yeah. Mark's coming out from the Jackal. Yuke's trying his best to get T3. Wow, PZD peeks that. Okay. Ints have now gained T3 control thanks to Black Dragon's efforts. They also somehow are at a man disadvantage. I didn't even see where Hugzor got picked off. Did you notice it? Because I didn't. I didn't catch it.
No, not a clue.
Yeah. So it happened while we weren't looking. GDN's going to take down Attack, so we're back to an even man count from Insight.
There's a peek from the window.
He was looking from the... And Panico and Junk Tower just got one-tapped by... Damn. This is all over the place, man.
Again, it's peak city right now for Black Dragons, and they're not winning a majority of their gunfights.
Yeah.
GDN had like one good shot, or a series of shots onto Intact. Other than that, they've been peeking and getting their heads blown off. The effort there for Black Dragons just not working out, like you said. One
anchor now, and Moringa's somewhere else. He's in Candyland or something. Yuke's going to be pushing from well, there's a lot of different names for this. Highway 51, a couple of different other ones, but Yuke's just going to be chilling on the window into the hallway. And he will find, I'm guessing, GDN. Yes, indeed. The smoke now marked. His life is going to become very difficult with the Zofia below him. Lots of pressure on these Jackal marks, and no lifeline explosives. Moringa, though, wherever he was, gets picked off by Yuke, and it's now just a single anchor. He's Jackal tracked. His odds of winning here are slim to none. And he's doing his darndest. And as the Jackal's tracks start to wear off, he will have a gas canister top of White, which will isolate an angle. He gets one pick onto Boar, which is huge. He could actually conceivably win this. There's no time for a Jackal track, but I think he might be doing it anyway. No, he's going to have to go for a plant. Yuke trying to stick the plant. He checks White, but doesn't shoot. Duds wins the fight, and Ints will win their first attacking round.
That was actually so winnable. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh,
it was close,
that
man.
was so close to being probably one of the biggest throws.
Oh, we've seen bigger throws, but it would be top 5 for the season.
Yeah, I'd put it in top 5 on the season too.
Maybe.
That's...
Well, I don't know. I feel like this match is going to go all the way, and it's very likely at this point. It just looks like we're going to have a draw with the way these are being played out.
Well, I mean, that's good news for INTZ. I mean, you can play one of the sloppiest games of your life and still get a point and still secure your spot for Season 10.
Yeah,
so,
for absolute clarification, again, if Ints draws or wins, they will go on to the next season. They won't have to fight their way in relegations because they'll have this. If they draw and Red Devils wins, both teams will have 13 points, but Ints would have, I believe, the tiebreak. So, yep, it's just need a point. Although, you know, it would be cool to have 3. That'd be neat.
It would. Yeah. And like you said, it looks like we're trending towards either a tie or going 12 rounds regardless of outcome.
Oh, we're going 12 rounds, yeah.
It definitely feels like that, yeah.
So, top floor again from Black Dragons. They can't go back to the basement yet. They will be able to do that next round. And their overall setup, they brought up Kaid. Yeah, that's curious. I wonder if they're setting up for the impact trick, because again, like I said last round, I don't think they know it exists. Or not last round, last half.
I didn't see any kill holes placed in generator, or not kill holes, but you know,
the impact
holes to the fan.
Yeah, so I don't. Either they don't know about it or they just don't care about it. But when they were on attack and the thermite got confused, it looked like he didn't know.
It looked like he had no clue what happened.
Well, I got to learn somehow. We don't know, obviously, what BD does and doesn't know about, but we can assume based on how they play. GDN gets that drone. Nice shot there.
Nailed it.
PZD playing in T3, and it doesn't look like INTZ is going to try and clear this out.
No, and that's interesting considering the T3 clear last time. While it wasn't actually effective in doing anything themselves, they were at least able to bait the peaks from Black Dragons into losing their lives.
Right. PZD just, for some reason, tried to peek Uke and lost.
So I don't know if they're afraid to take that kind of engagement again, fearing the coin flip of, hey, maybe we don't win the gunfights as well the next time around when they all peak. But you're still going to surrender a lot of control here. And you got GDN instead of Armory as well in the smoke. He's going to delay this quite a lot.
I mean, if INTZ are going for just a master take, which is what is happening right now, then they don't necessarily have to clear out D3 of tower, but it does mean they're going to have to worry about attic in all likelihood later into the round. And I believe there is, there's a rotation in attic through both walls. So Valkyrie will come from behind. PZD will come from behind at some point. Also, if this is a master take, half of the round and you haven't cleared out Armory. That's unacceptable. I mean, you're losing a lot of time. And Tak's going to try his best to nade from below. He might actually get this. He's a little bit short and no damage done. No, it was short. It was short.
No, I was just saying, he didn't do any damage to GDN. He only managed to do damage to himself.
It only pens the floor if it's like, I'd say like 3 or 4 inches from the actual ceiling where it detonates.
He cooked that too long.
He cooked it too long. It exploded before it actually tapped the ceiling.
Yeah.
Which would have been a GDN's floor. So, speaking of taking too long,
honestly, this take here, they made it in the building yet.
It's a master take, and I think they're just adjusting at this point. I think they're going for something else entirely because...
Well, what's your play? You didn't clear out tower.
They have no options. Trying to come up white, and Drunks is going to win against Panico, but it's a refrag by Moringa in the hallway. He was just playing aggressively on the hallway door. Using these angles to try and get some pressure on the bottom of white, but he just vaults in main window and Duds will get a kill. INTZ are shredding Black Dragons, who have to retake their own site now. Nice shot there from PZD on top of white. Beautifully done. And another one from GDN. Boar will refrag, though, amazingly winning the fight. GDN now in a 1 versus 1 as it's just Boar. The wall's not open. The plant is going down, but GDN's not playing around a plant. And Boar's gonna get it. All he needs to do is play the close plant now, and GDN doesn't even know where the diffuser is. He thinks it's in generator. He's established that it's not in generator. He's checking big window, assuming it's planted at the A bomb, but he's wrong. Inside of B is Boar, waiting patiently on a passive angle, and he wins the fight miraculously. Missing a couple shots there, but GDN really had no chance.
How in the world, if you're INTZ, do you lose that round?
I don't know.
That's tough.
Dude, okay, all right.
Go for it. Have at her.
Okay. INTZ won it. For quick correction, INTZ did win that amazingly. How did they win it is the question, right?
Yep.
INTZ did not do a lot of things. They didn't open the master wall on a master take, or generator wall, as some would refer to it as. They spent 2 minutes and 30 seconds on a master wall take, and they didn't do anything with that. They didn't clear a single thing.
No.
And then, in the last 30 seconds of the round, having not cleared out Armory, having not taken the master wall, having not cleared T3 of tower, although I guess you could argue that doesn't really matter, having not done any of that, or anything really in that whole round, INTZ just push up white stairs and vault in through main west window, and plant in the last 30 seconds. And BD just falls apart. I don't even.
That was Black Dragon's round to win. That was the easiest round of their lives.
And they didn't.
And then, they forgot to win. They forgot to hold the site.
I think it has to be like one of those things where, when you're coming out the last 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And your team starts panicking. It's like, am I holding the right angle? I mean, we're not being pressured at all. Am I doing this right? I mean, we even saw, for example, the smoke inside of Armory. He started throwing out his gas canisters at like 40 seconds. A little bit preemptive. There was no one pressuring him at all. He was panicking. And I think Black Dragons, as a team, I think they all started panicking.
That's bad. Especially for a team that has looked pretty composed throughout the entirety of the season.
I think they were just wondering where the take was coming from. I was too, to be honest.
We both were.
It was
I think everyone watching was also quite confused as to what the game plan was. So there's a lot of things that happen where we call out and we're like, hey, that wasn't optimal, but it worked.
I mean,
It's another one of those cases.
Drunks got the pick atop of white, which opened up the vault through main west. And then once that pick atop of white happened and people started vaulting main west window, it was... The Black Dragons had a really tenuous hold on the actual site. They were mostly focused on denying an armory take because that's what it was for the majority of the round. But hey, that's yesterday. And now here we have INTZ in a lead. A lead they sorely need.
Well, in this round here, we're going to, again, have the exothermic charge come out onto that pantry wall into kitchen. We see this quite a lot on Oregon. It's your typical setup. GDN will retreat, though, out of meeting behind Sandbag's position and vault back downstairs to join his brethren on the objective. And now to contend main stairs. The second thermite charge will come out onto the classroom wall and evacuate the hatch in main lobby. So, you still got your typical setup here. You got Panico upstairs inside of Attic once again. Last time, he was first to fall on the defensive side when Black Dragons defended down here. There was one trade picked back up by Black Dragons in turn. And you've got Intact holding flank with a Claymore underneath that vault hole. So, any possible rotations through Attic to Master will be tricky for Panico.
They have 2 flank watchers. INTZ have 2 flank watchers upstairs. And there's only a minute left to hit the site. They've got to rotate one of those players off to, assist the site take. There is plenty of counter plant utility here in the hands of BD, but we've seen that not be a factor before. Claymore in position, as is Drunks, to deny that Attic rotation from Panico. He really needs to not go for that vault.
Yeah, he's got to think better of this, and he will. He'll drop into meeting and finding, but not able to kill Duds. Finally, Moringa will tag in for the double team, but Boar will immediately trade out Panico. You should have one inside a meeting, the Toxic Babes. We're getting some plant denial here. Boar, with that one kill, will set the tone, but everything stalls out after that. It's a deadlock right now with time ticking away against the attacking side of INTZ. They need to go for a site execute, and they need to go right now. You will open things up like a can opener, taking down GDN, and Nitro got stuck on the top of the door frame. Yikes. The plant is not going down, though. Boar taking a lot of damage. 2 quick frags there for Black Dragons. Drunks with 1 as he pushes into the back, but he's alone as Intact was down, and Moringa will clean it up from the hatch. Black Dragons will equalize on the defensive side. We are guaranteed to go all 12 rounds on Oregon. Again, actually, that was more of a standard round. That made a lot more sense overall.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the least confusing rounds for sure.
There you go.
Okay.
One way to put it.
So I think it was Yuku was playing on the Glaz. I think you called it right when we had we had that Glaz mess up by Closet as well.
Yeah.
That's my bad. Okay, so the push into site was really confusing for a number of different reasons. It relied very heavily on the Glaz to see, outright success. There was nobody flank watching upstairs, which was really, I mean, why? Moringa is on the roam. That's another thing. That's a big thing. Moringa was roaming, right? Along with Panico. And... Oh. Wow, okay. Anyway, sorry, distracted a little bit there. Moringa was roaming, along with Panico. Panico got picked off early, so INTZ was like, oh yeah, only 1 roamer left. And they must have, said that to their team. It was like, oh, there's only 1 roamer left by main lobby. But it didn't seem like it, based on what we were seeing at the end of that round. I mean, INTZ had nobody paying attention to Moringa, who just was like, oh yeah, I'm on the drop now. You have no presence in sight because I have vertical control over that site. You can't do anything now. That's what Moringa said in that round. Moringa was the hero of the round, by the way. Hands down for me. Retaking upstairs all by himself. Panico assisted. That's the most generous way I'm gonna,
Yeah.
most credit I'm gonna give him for that.
That was Moringa saving the day for Panico on that one. That was getting ugly.
And his team as a whole.
Yeah.
So good job to Moringa there on the salvage. And now BD have, like, as you said, tied it up. Again, it just comes down to really poor time management for INTZ. And I don't know how they're attacking with so little time on a main lobby take when they're not really doing much of anything else.
It is quite confusing. The first set of Jackal pings, if I learn how to use my tongue properly, will land on Moringa upstairs and Attic looking down to the hatch once again. He's trying to do the same kind of destructive damage from above as he did last time, but different sight. The last one will ring out onto him in the midst of the master hallway, and it's pre-fire for anyone coming up the main stairs. So have PZD in T3, again with no contest coming from INTZ. No intentions to clear it. No opportunities for PZD to get a peek on anyone, and it looks like, again, he will bail out of T3, most likely playing the back towers and wait for a flank. Still got Intact looking down below, not doing a lot of reconstruction with that skeleton key, and we're approaching the same kind of story. GDN in armory, no pressure against him. We finally hear a skeleton key ringing out, though. This is classroom floor up into generator.
Yeah, this is a classic way to clear out generator from below, get those bandit batteries, which are in play right now for BD. I don't think Intact got both of them, but I think he must have gotten one at least. Grenade gonna be cooked here to try and clear out armory, but it's poorly placed once again. And that's gonna leave GDN, well, alive. Panico will be picked off though. What was that? Uke from outside managing to get a kill, maybe in showers or something along those lines, but kill's a kill, and well, Black Dragons now, man disadvantage with only a minute left to defend. That's a really poor C4 from Hugzord, but Trunks walks into it. That was confusing. There was nobody there, and then Trunks decided he wanted to be there. Bad timing for INTZ, and now we are back to an even man count. There is a drone staring at Hugzord, but it's protected by the ADS, so it's forgivable that he's not going to see it.
Yeah, just very comical placement of that drone from Uke. And he's still on it, that's why it is highlighted. He'll get off now. Hugzord is still isolated at the top of the white stairs. Biggest thing is that the man carrying the diffuser bore once again with 25 seconds ticking away. A flashed out GDN in the midst of the hallway, though, will take pressure. PZD will cordon that off, though, from inside of Attic. Intact will fall. 15 seconds, it's all falling apart for INTZ. Smokes go out of the big window, but the diffuser pushing through through generator will be dictating the pace of the push. You've now lost control of top white. A rotated from GDN will stop the plant, though. Immediate trade from Uke and down on top white. PZD will take him down. Duds is last alive. And he will fall as well to the MPX of PZD. The Valkyrie goes off. Black Dragons confirm their at least 1 point in this. They grabbed their 6th round of the matchup. We now await to see what INTZ will respond with. Can they get one and guarantee their spot so we don't have to wait for game number 3? Or is their destiny not going to be in their own hands? Never mind. Black Dragons have to go somewhere weird.
They're going to an offsite. So this is a low-hanging fruit for INTZ, I guess, but so was that last round.
Yeah.
INTZ should have won that, hands down. I really don't know what that Jackal was doing on main west window. How did he let the denial come out? I mean, the plant was going down by the thermite, right, in generator. And Jackal's sitting on main west window. All he needs to do is stare at the hallway to deny anybody shooting his thermite. And he couldn't do that. I mean, it's more than that, too. I mean, that's why you clear out tower. In case you're wondering, if you're going to be attacking top floor, that's why you would clear out tower, is because you're worried about that attic pressure that PZD gave to you. And PZD was the hero of that round for BD.
Yep.
He denied a free kill onto GDN. GDN was still flashed when he was starting to get pressured. He probably would have been killed off. So good job to PZD there. And then PZD follows that up with 2 solid kills, retaking the site. So overall, it's the PZD show for that last round.
I think he had, what, it was at least 3.
At least 3.
It was the last 3.
Yeah.
It might have been 4, but I'm not sure.
Whatever it was a really good round from him.
Yeah.
And he was in tower that whole round, so he rotated very last minute to Attic and just started sweeping stuff up. So, last round, this is it. And there is an IQ being brought. Yo, I really love that from INTZ. I have to say real quick, they're bringing an IQ to attack tower. They know what they're dealing with here. At least we're seeing that.
We've also got a Nomad, which Well, help, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be, can you burn the ADS's T3 to utilize the air jabs, or can you get T3 control to utilize the air jabs to stop them retaking up the tower stairs?
If nothing else, they can call out the ADSs. So Intact isn't going to have to, or he's going to have to relay a lot of information, and then Drunks won't have to worry about those, hopefully, for him. We also see there's some ADSs being used elsewhere, and that's pretty big. Looks like BD are focused mostly on a meeting hall hold, which is sensible, I suppose. So one ADS T3, one ADS in meeting hall, and we'll see where the other one is later, I suppose. But overall, decent coverage here from Black Dragons. There's also going to be a slower attack here from INTZ. I think they're getting to the point where... Actually, sorry, it's not possible to have a slower attack. It's going to be a standard attack here from INTZ. I think they're getting to... Well, they've been at the point where they're worried about losing this whole match. That's going to be a little bit of damage done to Intact. We'll see. It's going to matter. PZD's got his little shield here to protect him from the window. It won't fully protect you from the window. I'm pretty sure if you were to rappel upside down on the top, you would be able to see a little bit of the top of the head of your enemy, but it'd be a very difficult fight, and I think that's something that PZD is trying to, I think, force those kinds of fights. I assume why the shield exists in that position. There is a way to be completely safe up there, but I don't think that specific shield would make you safe.
No, I think you're dead on with the upside down peek. The drone will not come out, sorry, from Drunks, as that would be shot away immediately as he gets thrown into that broken glass. You got 3 repels coming out, north, west, and south onto the tower. PZD will take a handful of damage and finally be down, but not cleaned up just yet. Almost allowed to completely revive, but now it's INTZ with 2. PZD and Hugsor will both fall. GDN as well in tandem, and there goes another one for Boar. 2 quick kills to open things wide open. And the last man alive, Moringa, dancing inside of smoke, staring at a wall. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be Red Devils in the 7th spot. INTZ secured their 6th spot. Nothing happens for Black Dragons. They stay at 5.
That was a perfect round.
That was.
Yeah.
And what a weird way to end it for INTZ, who were just so confounded on their attacks.
I mean, dude, that whole match was confusing. that was a
It's okay,
mess.
Michael. It's okay.
Hey, their logos look cool together, though.
They do. They...